Niperput utseqqipput aayukutakisinnaarparput saamiatungaani Mette Frederiksen qeqqani franske præsidentia talerpianilu naalakersuusutiulittaasuat kinguaatuungaatiaqqapput akunnermik ataatimik kinguaatooqapput immaqan 35 minut så 30 minut til kinguaatooqapput Kai Kleist taavatu Kupi Kleist taamat kinguaatornaliginnaapa
immaqa uani tassam nanungikkaluorporpuila arfinernnut kanatamaraallartussaasut taavalu pisertatingorluni inuppassuarnillu utaqqisitsillutik arlaatigut naluara isumaqatigiingissuteqarsimanersuma arlaanik akornusorsimanersut immaqa oqaatingeqqaassavaattaan
ayuk nuannaarpasittoruissuuput Emmanuel Macron kakkaak inippalaarpasimmat
taammaappo
kutaartuippuassut
ayuku ilasseertoruissuuput paarsisullu aakku aamnaalakkersuusiulittaasua aan qunguttaarittoruissuuor
taamakkun ajortum nalunaarutissaqinngill
taamatut pisillitit aayuku iniu akenganiipput oqaatigisinnaau naliginnaavo kisia præsidentia taam qaffasitsigisilum taamatut naliginnaava
Frankrigip taamaannaviangi
suumaani taamaalla
ja
Frankrigip taamaasinnaanaviangila
soormitta
tassami inupparuissuit akornganniissinnaangillat ilaatigut aama napparsimaltillu ilaallu aam ajortumeerinninniartut amerlasooruissuugami tappavani taamaakkami qularnangitsummaan nunatsinni tamakkuutaqanginnatta neriuppunga ajungitsum oqarluga
ja amuaneriuppung kisiannalungilara ullaar tamakkuutusagassiortut politiin aggersarneqartuk sakkunik arlaannas nassataqarnersut paasiniart
sometimes pissusissami suuginnarunerpo
tassami
sillimaniarne eqqarsaatigalu
Mette Frederiksen aana nuusarpiangikkaluarpo kisia aayuk tas ininnik tamak oqartarnerattit assak asassangilak ulmarlit immaakku taaneqarnik oqarpu savaalak innera assak asassangilakka
jaala qaqu oqaluiarfissartikissavaa
tas minutsinik forunik missaanik aayuk aamsorfooput minutsinik forun missaan kinguatornikuullut aayuk tas oqaligiarfissaminut
kiisami
pipput tusaalerparput maangaani mikrofon takaninnuuparput
Hallo, du Savisinger. Siutlumik, tamassi tikilluaqqorusupassi maanga tusaasiortun katersortinermut. Ullu immikkul laqalluinnartor ullumikku qaangiutilerpo taannalu nuannaaruutigisoriuruissuara kisia sinnera tuluttut ingerlakkiaraluassuara. First of all, welcome Mr. President Macron. Welcome Prime Minister. I am very happy and honored to receive you here in Nuuk.
Très honoré de vous accueillir ici à Nuuk à l'occasion de cette visite.
We have had a really good day. We have been in the fjord, in to see the ice cap, in to see how the climate change has affected Greenland. In Greenland, we are people living by the coast. So the environmental changes have huge impact on us. And I'm glad and grateful I could show that to my colleagues here, because we have to do something. I also appreciate that we could talk more concrete about the possibilities for stronger cooperation, both within our countries, but also in terms of the European Union. We are a land with a lot of opportunity, both in, we have a lot of resources we can exploit, and if we do it well, and if we cooperate well, it can benefit us all very much. I'm also, have to say, beyond grateful for getting the chance to greet you and express Greenland's gratitude towards the strong support France has shown the Greenlandic people throughout the last couple of months. We know that you personally, Mr. President, you have been active supporting Greenland and the Kingdom in these challenging times. From the government of Greenland and the Greenlandic people, I would like to express our gratitude. We live in a time where we have, it's a strange time for us in Greenland. We live on some democratic principle built it up for many, many, many years. Respect for international law, respect for borders, respect for law of the sea, and we are glad you could stand with us to state that those principles are very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister.
I'm looking forward to a future where we can make even stronger partnerships and be more concrete about projects and possibilities in Greenland. We strongly want to work more together, and I feel that this could be a very good stepping stone in doing that. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now I will give the word to you, Mr. President.
Merci, Monsieur le Premier ministre. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. Madame la Première ministre, chers maîtres, Monsieur le Premier ministre, Mesdames et Messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, let me first thank the Greenlandic authorities for this warm welcome, and let me thank you, Madam Prime Minister, for having organized this trip a few weeks after the state visit of your king and your queen in France, and it's still a very great memories. And let me tell you how moved we are with my delegation by the beauty of this land and the warmth of your welcome. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Uyanak. Les relations d'amitié entre le Groenland et la France sont anciennes. Elles ont été nourries par nos scientifiques, nos explorateurs et la fascination pour votre culture. Et dès 1926, Jean-Baptiste Charcot rejoignit la côte orientale du Groenland et ouvrait la voie aux missions scientifiques dirigées par Greenland,
paving the way for scientific missions led by Paul-Émile Victor as from 1934 and then Jean Mallory in the 1950s. And these scientists contributed to getting the Greenlandic people known, their know-how and traditions. In the current context, Greenland is back at the heart of geopolitical stakes, and the peaceful and scientific purpose of the Arctic is currently threatened. The autonomous territory of the Kingdom of Denmark, given its strategic positioning at the heart of the Arctic region, and given its natural resources has become a coveted space,
En venant à Nuuk, à
and
votre
it's
invitation,
subject to
je veux avant toute
ambition
chose
by
adresser un
predators.
message de
And by
solidarité
coming
européenne
to Nuuk,
et de
thanks
soutien
to
de
your
la France à
invitation, I
l'égard
would
du
like to
Danemark,
express a clear
du
message
Groenland
of European
et du
solidarity
peuple
and
groenlandais.
support on behalf of France
Un
vis-à-vis
message de
Denmark,
respect de
Greenland,
votre
and the
souveraineté
Greenlandic people, a
et de
message
respect
of
de vos
respect of your sovereignty
choix de
and of your
sécurité, de
choices,
développement
the choice of
économique et
security,
social, de
economic and
gestion
social
durable des
development,
ressources naturelles.
sustainable
Un
development
message
as
de
well of
soutien à votre
natural
intégrité
resources, a
territoriale,
message of
à
support to your
l'intangibilité de vos
territorial
frontières,
integrity and the
qui ne sont pas
intangibility of your
négociables.
borders, which are not
Avec ses partenaires de l'Union
negotiable.
européenne, la France
Together
continuera à
with our
défendre ces
partners
principes
in
qui
the
vont à la
European
Charte
Union, France
des
will
Nations Unies.
continue to defend these
Let me tell you
principles
that
in accordance
being
with the
here
UN Charter.
with you at the invitation of your authorities
Permettez-moi de vous dire
is for
qu'en
us
étant
the
ici à
occasion
l'invitation de vos autorités,
convey a very clear message
nous avons
of French
l'occasion
and
de faire
European
passer
solidarity
un message
towards Denmark, Greenland, and people of Greenland. A message of respect for your sovereignty and respect for your choices. Choice of security, economic and social development, sustainable monitoring of your natural resources. A message of support for your territorial integrity, your borders. In a few words, everybody think in France, in the European Union, that Greenland is not to be sold, not to be taken. We had very fruitful exchanges with Mr. Prime Minister and Madam Prime Minister about strategic issues in Arctic and obviously security and the posture of our great challengers, Russia, China, the increasing cooperation between these two powers in the region and elsewhere, and the fact that we want to clearly stand with you in order to face these challenges. And France is ready to increase its cooperation with the 7 allies of the Arctic, especially in the framework of the Arctic Council and in the framework of the NB8 with the 8 Nordic and Baltic countries. And clearly NATO is a place where this coordination and interoperability is seriously organized. Let me tell you that I conveyed the message of availability to your authorities to do more in terms of common exercises in order to improve the security and these operations, to increase our capacities as well, but as well to increase economic cooperation and do much more in terms of education, university cooperation, and concrete projects on from the economic point of view and energy point of view. J'ai en effet ici rappelé à vos autorités que la France était disponible pour agir davantage à vos côtés sur le plan de la sécurité, de l'économie, de l'éducation et afin d'aider à développer des projets concrets sur le terrain, qu'il s'agisse d'énergie hydroélectrique ou d'autres projets. J'ai aussi indiqué à la Première ministre et au Premier ministre notre proposition d'ouvrir ici un consulat général.
La France est disposée à faire beaucoup plus. C'est la raison pour laquelle nous avons décidé d'ouvrir ici à Nuuk un nouveau consulat général pour être plus proche de vous et à vos côtés.
A few minutes ago, we saw very clearly together the direct impact of climate change here as well. And let me tell you that facing these challenges, we are ready as well to do much more together. The new maritime roads in the Great North should be preserved, and the region should be preserved as well from any type of conflictuality and any type of over-exploitations by other powers. A few days ago, we were together in the United Nations Conference for the Oceans in Nice, and we opened precisely the decade for science, for the cryosphere, in order to increase our research effort for glaciers and poles, and precisely to improve our answer for climate change. And 10 years after Paris Agreement, we see here very clearly that we have to follow up our efforts and to do much more again together. Your research strategy offers as well new opportunities for cooperation, and we will follow up as Europeans and French in order to improve our cooperation on the Arctic and climate change in the region, and we are ready to strengthen this scientific cooperation with you. La France est prête en effet à renforcer sa coopération scientifique et universitaire, en particulier en ce qui concerne l'étude de l'impact à long terme du réchauffement climatique dans l'Arctique, ainsi que notre coopération culturelle. Et dans le cadre de la décennie des sciences pour la cryosphère, j'ai indiqué aussi à la Première ministre que nous étions prêts à faire davantage dans ce domaine, en particulier avec votre université. Enfin, l'Union européenne est présente de longue date au Groenland également. L'Europe est prête à accompagner le développement économique et social du Groenland, qu'il s'agisse des énergies décarbonées, des infrastructures, de l'éducation, de la pêche durable, des matières premières critiques. C'est le sens du partenariat stratégique signé en 2023 entre l'Union européenne et le Groenland, qui doit permettre de développer des chaînes de valeur durables dans le secteur des matières premières stratégiques. Maintenant, nous souhaitons accélérer la mise en œuvre de ce projet. The European Union stands together with Greenland as well. The European Union is ready to accelerate and deliver concrete results in energy and low carbon energy, in infrastructure, education, sustainable fishing activities, and critical mineral and rare earths. And clearly we do believe that we now have to accelerate the implementation of the strategic partnerships signed 2 years ago in order to have concrete investment and to be part of the economic development of Greenland. The situation in Greenland is clearly a wake-up call for all the Europeans. And let me tell you very directly that you are not alone. And when a strategic message is sent to you, I want just for you to know that it's clearly perceived by the Europeans as targeting a European land. And this flag you have here is our common flag, and we know our common values, and we know our long-standing choices. And this is why it's very important for French people and all the European people to convey very clearly this message of solidarity and the fact that we stand with you now, for today, and for tomorrow. Thank you very much again, Mr. Prime Minister, Madam Prime Minister, for your welcome, for allowing me and offering me this great honor to be with you in this so beautiful landscape, in this wonderful country. And I'm very moved and very happy to be with you today and to tell you that we will do even much more together. Believe me. Thank you so much. Vive le Groenland, vive le Danemark, vive l'amitié entre le Danemark et la France et vive l'Europe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. And now, Prime Minister.
Dear Jens Frederik, first of all, thank you for hosting this visit. It is always a great pleasure to be in Greenland, this beautiful country in the Arctic, defined by its proud and brave people and long-standing traditions. And to you, Mr. President, dear Emmanuel, a deep felt thank you for coming to Greenland. Thank you for being here, side by side with us. Thank you for your unwavering support. France has been a close ally and a dear friend to the Kingdom of Denmark for many, many years. And true friendship is defined by loyalty, solidarity, and support in good times as well as more challenging times. France and the Kingdom of Denmark share this kind of friendship. And I think, dear Emmanuel, that your visit to Greenland today is a testament to unity of and in Europe. Our strong will to protect what we believe in: democracy, freedom, territorial integrity, and the right of any country to choose its own future. And in this time in history, with so much uncertainty, with a war going on in Europe, we must take on that responsibility by not standing by, but acting. And France is taking a leading role together with other strong European nations. It gives me hope, and it makes me optimistic for the future and for the Europe that we live in. This visit has given us a chance to discuss some of the security challenges in the Arctic region. The importance of the Arctic has increased due to the tense relations between Russia, China, and us in the West. In recent years, Russia has expanded their military capabilities in the region, where China is also seeking to establish a military presence in the future. This challenged all of us to an extent few believed possible just a few years ago. And we have been clear in stating that we wish, of course, to work with the US also to strengthen security in the Arctic. But of course, cooperation has to take place in a respectful manner. We agree, all of us, that Europe cannot be a bystander to the challenges in front of us. We have to rearm Europe. We have to continue our strong support for Ukraine. And we have to strengthen our common security on the eastern flank and here in the Arctic. We are already present with military capabilities, and we are, of course, willing to take on a greater responsibility of our security here in the High North, along with our good NATO allies. And therefore, I would like to thank you, France, for the strong and concrete presence in the High North already, including recently with naval ships along the coast of Greenland. And to you, Jens Frederik, Chairman of nunatsinnut, and to the people of Greenland, thank you for hosting us. Thank you for openly showing us not only the beauty of your country, but also the challenges that you are facing and the ways to solve it. Mr. President, on behalf of the Kingdom of Denmark, thank you for your leadership, for guiding the fundamental principles we have fought together to obtain, principles we are now fighting to protect. And we will not give in, because that is not who we are. And that is not how we can let the world develop. We will continue to stand with our back straight. We know what we stand for, and our allies do too. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Thank you, Mr. President. Now for questions first, KNR.
Hello. Marcus Valentin from KNR. A question for the French president. How will this visit to Greenland affect your conversation with Donald Trump at the G7, and what will you say to him?
Look, I informed him about this trip, and I think it makes clear that the Europeans are ready to face the challenges we have here, meaning climate change, economic development, and strategic challenges. But at the same time, it provides a message that we are ready, all of us, to take our responsibilities in a respectful and cooperative way. So I will follow up tomorrow, and I will tell him that we have the chance all together, if we are respectful, lucid, to cooperate and just do what was done years ago in order to address these challenges. And I think this is the only way to move forward. So I will just be extremely accurate, enthusiastic about Greenland, and I will speak because I saw it myself, and we we had a very fruitful discussion going into details regarding the key challenges of the future for Greenland and trying to engage again. This is it. And I'm optimistic because I think there is a way forward in order to clearly build a better future in cooperation and not in provocation or confrontation.
Thank you. Radio France International.
Monsieur le Président, on parlait du G7 à l'instant qui va s'ouvrir dans quelques heures, en pleine guerre, en plein conflit entre Israël et l'Iran. Que pensez-vous que les pays du G7 peuvent faire? Donald Trump s'est dit ouvert à une médiation du président Poutine. Qu'en pensez-vous?
Je pense que le G7 doit être l'occasion d'abord de parler des déséquilibres en cours.
First and foremost, an opportunity to talk about the current imbalances, be they economic or trade imbalances or challenges. This has been the purpose of the G7 forever. We have the artificial intelligence, for example. Then, of course, we'll talk about the two major conflicts, Ukraine and Iran. And the purpose of the G7, I believe, is to get its members to converge. So for Ukraine, we are still working on a ceasefire to be able to build a long-lasting and robust peace. So the issue is whether President Trump stands ready to implement some much more robust sanctions against Russia if Russia failed to answer the proposals made by President Trump a month ago and agreed upon by Ukraine President Zelensky as early as March. So we're only a few days ahead of the NATO summit, and I think the Europeans shall re-engage with the Americans and Canada and Japan as well. And let me underline how constant and they've been when it comes to Ukraine. Regarding the Middle East, I believe we stand united. No one wants Iran to get a nuclear bomb. The United States of America can gather everyone around the table on this issue, given that the Europeans are major players when it comes to any nuclear agreement. And most importantly, Israel is very dependent on the United States for weapons. So it means the United States can very much have an influence on the negotiations. Now, for a number of years, a country that's been violating the UN Charter for years, I don't think they can possibly be a mediator. So, of course, now it is about trying to prevent any escalation and all the parties to come back to the negotiation table.
Thank you. TV2.
Mr. President, the Pentagon is drawing up contingency plans for a possible takeover of Greenland. The US Defense Minister said the other day. How did that make you feel?
Look, I don't understand exactly what it means and how it could work, because you cannot occupy the territory of an ally. And my perception, and it seems it's largely confirmed, is that people here are united and they don't want. So nobody is calling for an occupation or a special operation, and I'm very careful with a special operation, if I may. So I think if there is the willingness to deal with the current strategic challenges in the Arctic region, this is clearly a vision we can share. But the method is not the right one. The method should be to engage with a sovereign country for its territory, so to engage with the Greenland authorities, with the Kingdom of Denmark, and to work very closely with the other nations engaged in very regular operations in this region to clearly protect the territory and face existing and potential challenges. But I don't believe one second that you can fix a strategic threat by threatening your ally. This is inconsistent.
Thank you. Somitja?
I have a question for both Macron, Jens Frederik Nielsen. You've been to the glacier just before and seen the consequences of the climate change. What were the impressions that you had from that trip? And you also said that you want to initiate a cooperation with the Greenlandic universities in research for climate change. But what other concrete initiatives do you plan to move and make in Greenland that would benefit the Greenlandic society and the rest of the world?
Thank you. I think the impression we had, the feeling we got, is this feeling of both beauty and vulnerability. And that this landscape and these places we thought beautiful forever are definitely threatened by climate change. And we do see in front of us the direct consequences of past and sometimes present actions. This is why I do confirm that we want to step up our scientific cooperation on climate change, Arctic Sea and cryospheres. Second, we want to participate to very concrete economic projects, and we are totally available and ready to develop some economic projects on hydroelectricity, which is a very positive project in order to create value here and to reduce the oil and gas component of your energy electrical mix. And EDF has the capacities to do so and could be a relevant partner for this hydroelectric project. And third, we are as well ready to be part of your mapping and the collect of data for all the mining projects, because these mining projects are critical in order to develop renewable energies and as well new mobility and so on, if you go from titan to graphite and so on. And it was very clearly mentioned by authorities that you do need more data to be collected. And this is as well a topic on which we want to increase the partnership with the BRGM, which is a French body in charge of these questions. Third, we are as well available through our companies to be part of this project, developing new economic opportunities for the territory.
Yeah. Yeah, I will just state that we had a wonderful trip, and I was glad and happy that I could show the impact of the climate change, how the ice cap has been melting and how it affects the Greenlandic people, because we live by and off the sea, all of us. And that means that we have to do something about emission worldwide. And there we can also be we can be a player, because we have potential in renewable energy and so on. And I'm really happy that we can have those discussions. Of course, we have to be more concrete in the future, but I think this was a really, really good stepping stone, and I want to appreciate those conversations today. Thank you. Then TF1.
Bonjour, Bastien Auger pour TF1 LCI. Ma question s'adresse à Monsieur le Président Macron. Vous avez dit, vendredi, vous avez mis en avant le droit d'Israël à se défendre.
You mentioned a few days ago that Israel had a right to defend itself and that France stood ready to contribute to defending Israel. Can you tell us whether since Friday France has been supporting Israel in any way, shape or form, and whether you stand ready to do so? And don't you think that by supporting these strikes against Iran, France is only encouraging escalation as we've seen in Gaza? What I said very clearly on Friday is that France is extremely worried about nuclear proliferation given the report by IAEA and the ongoing activities by Iran, and that these were a clear threat, an existential threat for Israel, given what we hear from the Iranian regime every day, it's also a threat for ourselves because
Ça ne veut pas dire pour autant que j'ai cautionné quoi que ce soit. J'ai d'ailleurs très clairement indiqué que la France n'avait pas participé aux opérations qui ont été menées le 13 juin dernier et dans les jours qui ont suivi. Et j'ai rappelé que la position de la France était claire et constante. Nous considérons que ces sujets, c'est-à-dire la prolifération balistique comme nucléaire, doivent se régler autour d'une table de négociation dans le cadre international et doivent conduire ensuite à un suivi par les agences internationales compétentes en la matière. Et donc, nous appelons vite possible un retour des discussions de toutes les parties prenantes. Est-ce qu'aucune escalade ne soit conduite? Nous n'avons participé à aucune opération défensive depuis lors, parce que nous n'avons pas été sollicités. Et j'ai pu m'exprimer et échanger avec le Premier ministre Netanyahou, le président Pezeshkian,
Prime Minister Netanyahu,
iranien
as
hier,
well
et
as
le président Trump, et avoir exactement les mêmes messages, c'est-à-dire appeler au plus vite à la reprise des discussions sur la question nucléaire et balistique, demander l'arrêt le plus rapide possible de toute frappe, d'où qu'elle vienne, et régler ce sujet de sécurité collective le plus rapidement possible. J'ai enfin pu redire, et vendredi et samedi à l'ensemble de ces protagonistes, combien ce qui se passe aujourd'hui, qui nous inquiète tous évidemment beaucoup dans la région, ne doit pas nous faire oublier la situation à Gaza. Le cessez-le-feu est un impératif. La situation humanitaire est inacceptable. Nous devons absolument obtenir un cessez-le-feu, la libération de tous les otages et une reprise de l'aide humanitaire à Gaza.
And humanitarian aid to be allowed.
Thank you. Tia.
Stéphanie Surugue, la télévision danoise. Bonjour, Monsieur le Président. Do you truly see Donald Trump, the U.S., as an ally today? And would you be ready from France to protect the Greenland with military if ever those are not only words and threats, but Trump decides actually to invade?
Look, I do believe that the United States of America remains engaged in NATO and our key and historical alliances. It happens we had disagreements and we have to deal with them, but they are still an ally. My point is that as Europeans, we have to increase our strategic autonomy, which doesn't mean that we have to withdraw from the existing partnership, but that we have to reduce our dependency, especially towards this ally. Because having an ally doesn't mean you want to depend on him. It means you want to work genuinely and positively with him. And this is why I believe it will take a decade, not a year. But we have to engage and accelerate the concrete efforts we are making in all the different fields in order to improve our strategic autonomy. And let me be clear, Greenland is part of it. When you look at the potential of minerals, rare earths you have here on this territory, the Europeans would be crazy not to protect this area for Greenland, for Kingdom of Denmark and its sovereignty, but as well for the European interest. I will be very clear, because here we have some of the resources of our autonomy for today and tomorrow. Now, I always hate elaborating some crazy scenario because the world is sufficiently crazy for all of us, and dealing with the day-to-day life is sufficient for my imagination. But what we should do very concretely is to increase the common exercises we have with other Nordic and Baltic states, by the way, with Canada, with even with the US, but common and cooperative exercises to work together to improve the security of this region, Greenland, but as well the security and the safety of the Arctic region, because I think this is just our common good. And this is my answer to your question. Re-engaging, doing more ourselves, offering the others, the US included, to do more with us and not to be confrontational. and I wouldn't start elaborating on what if scenario publicly, because I don't believe that at the end the US, which is an ally and a friend, will never do something aggressive against another ally.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you all for coming today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Madame la Première Ministre et Monsieur le Premier Ministre. Yeah, thank you.
Tak.
Goeiedag.
Kai Kleist. Gubi Kleist. Studiet nunnut nipigut uteqqipput. Tusaassiortunak katersortitsineq. Qanorun imat.
Tässä pääsisinnaassagut takkua franske tylyttullu qaderiittoortilaaratsingi. Kien pääsinnaasattuut. Ilimageriikkagu oqaatsingivaat tassalu illersoqatingiinnissa taavalu immintatingeqatingiinneq taavun niueqatingiinnissamut periarfissat taavalu silaannaap allangoriartornera takkua ismaarpunga naatsorsuutingereerikut tupaallarnartume oqassangaluvorunik immara sort sakkutooqarnerup anniklisarneqarnisaoqaatingissagaluarpaat kisen killormoorpilaamassakut kikkutamarmik sakkutuunik sakkutooqarnermul aningaasaliistit annertusarpaat ilaatigut Ronald Reagan ideas Trumpip piumasaqaataanaapertorlu kien Trumpi taangilaat USA taangilaat kisen Kiina Ruslannilu taakkua takkorliutser piangittut eqqaavaat taannertauwa eqqumigilarpara
Qano eqqumigilarpi
tassamila Kiina Ruslannilu pingaartumik taakkua ulorianarnerarlunga eqqartorpaat uffalu takkorliutingittut aama taamanikkut Trumpip neqerorussua saqqummeqqaarmat tusagassiortorpassuit maaneerrattut ilaasa immaanunni amerlassuut apeqqutingisarpaat kiniserimmi tauuaqarfigisarpak kiniserin takusarpisi aqqusinermi naamerluin ila taakkua soornanimi imaassinnaaroq isertortunik pilersaaruseqartu kisianni uutsinut ersingillat
Kai Kleist арлааник тупаалланнартимик тусаасақарпит
наам таамааллаат уагаама малугиниарпара тааматут нунарсуатсин писсутсит пиллугит оқалуусеринниннэрми аперсорнеқарнермин аама уна сапингисамик акеққарсимаартутут илиллуни писсусеқарани игерлатсиниссар таанна ассут пингаартиккаа таанналу ассорсуақ илуарисимаарпара тааматут оқарнера тассами қано оқассуугут саккутуулерсуиниссамик апеққут аама таанеқаллатсиарануарп кисиансоор кууп оқарнаатут таан аннертунерусумик исерфиингила тааматул оқарлун konfrontatorisk atomniangilарпут иматут акеққарсимаартутут писсусилерсорла пиниангилагу кисианниссулеқатигин соо тастаанна ассорсуақ исумаарпунга аюнгитсумик ингерлаккаа таавалу оқалоқатигинниннерит тамакку нунатсин аторфиссақарт ассиингитсут aatitassat sammersuup aakkiartornaan tungasut naak imaatto silaannaap аллангориарторнааник уут аннертунерусумик уумасуутсигу кисимик иммара эққорнеқартут таанеқарсиннааппут уут нунатсинни qaffakkiartortussаагам нунарпут таавалу киссатсиккиарторлуни тааннартаа ajoriinnaгассаагунангиккалуарпо ман малуингиларпут кисиан тастаанна уумасутигут тааккуа уумасуутитта малуинниллуарнера таан кисим ажоқутаассаагуна
qallunaat statsministeriet danskit statsministeriet Mette Frederiksen annorusumik uqaasqanngilaq soormitta
ааллаққаатаанииллиммутеққарсарпунга тас илаавоқ наалагааффиунерс писсутигалугуила тавалу оқалоқатаасимассуусоорунними микрофонит аммангиккаллармата кисианнуани таману аммасуми оқаасеқарнэрми иматоқаасеқарпиангила Jens Frederik тавалу пингаартумик Macron-и аперсорнеқарпут таанлеқми паллаангилаама
суутастаан исумаарпун писсусиссамисуугиннарто тааматут иматут оқаасеқарниангиннэрмит писсутеқангила акулеруннаверсаарнерми кисианнили укуа Jens Frederik аама сапингисамик Macron-им наапитсеқаангиккалуарпа атаасингорм нааписсмава нисими иссааннар таамааттумик илисаасималлуарлугу ми оқарсиннаавугут кисианни Jens Frederik ингерлатсисиннаанера таан акорнсернаверсаарлугу пингуатсиарамиук атаққиннини нунатсинни аама такутиккаа
Frankrigip præsidentia der ama oqaatiiva takinerisatissavарpunngooq upperisinga takinerisatissavар tugut qantaan isimaqartilluumit oqarpa
neriuppunga imattut isimaqartissimassagaat niuernikkut annertunerusumik ingerlatsilerniart imaluunniit naluaa ingerlataqarnersu ingerlatsilerniartik taulu appaatigut aama taanna ila oqaatingini kisimimmaa oqaatingini kuuga sakkutuunik saassuttissangaluarussi uagut sakkutuugut piaersimapput akerliliinissaminnut taannalu tassami taamatut isumaqartippak taakkuoqaassi
taamatulluama oqarpoq kisimiingilasi tastassin ataqpasippoq ila yuanat alone
ja
tastaapa
akunnerup affaasinningaatiarlugu tusaassiortuni katersortitsiner kingisinaarneratini aallartippoq kisia misiginarpoq toqqissisimasimi ila ingerlanneqarter
ila tassami aama imaattoq anillannermin imana takkunnerminni pisullutik ammuqarnerminni илларасаарлутиллу инунниллу илассинниллусик пигамик соорлу аёртоқарпасингиттутут исиккоқареерамик ила таамааккамик қано наапеқатигиннерат аюнгитсумик кигунеқартуссаасуссатут уан исумақарфигиканнерпара
тусаассиортут апеққитеқаллаттаалермата тупиннангитсимик уусаами президентти эққаанеқаллаттаавоқ тупиннангитсимиллаама акерпиангиллат ernimanermik peqqiteqarsinnaava
Piet Hiksetsi immara pissusilersorput tassalu illersornissamut USA ministeriala akissuteqar piaavinnani kisiannili soortunuatungaan malungineqarsinnaassulut paasinarluni aamma ukuataamaaliorput
unnuk manna oqarsinnaangorpuu ualeq manna aallartinnikuulluta naanialissuugut qanoq siunissamut naatersuuterassua aasa ingerlaneraani aggerteqaqqissavami taimmaa presidentinik qan eqqeriaasinnaavisi
tai uang ilima ikannersinnaavara Macronip immara unamillertaa tyskit kansleriat aama takkuteriat harsinnaaneranik isuma taanna qamaniitipparuanga takussaorpummi qanor ikkumaarni
Der var det Trump,
ja.
Umisungaarmi Macronimut imaasinnarutan aggissutinginga. Der var det oqarluni sakkutuorunniarlutik.
Quenaruissuaq tusagissiortun præsidentip tusagissiortun katersortitinaani peqataasinnaagасsi unnuk tassimi oqaliinitsinnitu isiginnaartunut aama ilissi quyanaq uadeqmanna unnuttalilaarlugu malinnaasinnaagassi oqaatigineqartutut naluarput qaqugu man isiaqatiger аллерсаққиккимаарпарси нериппунгмааneeqikkimaatisi nalivarput qaqugu præsidentsimik takkut toqaqqinnissaa unnussiorluaris